Hey everybody, this is Mike with Mike's Dark Helmet Minecraft server. Today I'm going to take you through the basics of factions, and the reason I'm going to do this is because we're actually adding factions in for our PvP world. We've never really had a PvP focused server. We've had an arena, we've actually had this PvP world before, but we never really had any reason for people to go to that world other than just killing each other. And we needed a way to encourage people to actually stay, invest time in building something up. And that's why we threw factions in there. So if you played on a server already, you're probably familiar with how Townie works. And Townie and factions are similar. So what I've highlighted here is a 16 by 16 chunk. And I've used this world edit visualizer to actually see this. But in both Townie and factions, when you claim land, this is the area that you will actually be getting. So with factions, if I want to create it, I can just do F create and give it a name. I'll just say killers, whatever. Alright, so F create the name of your faction. And the next thing you want to do is give it a description. A description is really just something that people see when they walk into your territory. So if I haven't claimed land yet, sorry. So when they walk into the territory, it'll say this is the faction name, this is the description. So like Townie, with factions, you can invite people to join. So if there were other users on this test server, I could say F invite and then the username, Bob. And he would be able to type in F join, and then he'd be a part of my faction. Now if I type F show, this is going to give me some information about my faction. Now a few pieces of information are actually showing here. Land, power, and max power. Those are the most important things. The max power is the max power that we can reach. Now power is something that is used to grow your faction to a point where you can start taking land from other factions. So the max power in your power is based off of how many people and how much land you have in your faction. So the longer that you're online, the less often that you die, the more power you're going to get. When you get to a point where somebody has less power than they have land, then your faction's actually going to be able to start claiming some of the border land of that town, of that faction. So that's a great addition to PvP, is being able to invest your time and grow up your faction and try to actually take things from other people. But at the same time, it gives you a safe place to do your business, to live your life. So if you type F claim, you can claim land, and this is actually claiming it for your faction, just like claiming a plot for your town. When I come in, it gives me the name of the faction, it gives me the description. Now, sometimes, and especially with our server, money is turned on. So if you type F money, what you would normally see is a list of the faction money commands, and you can say F money D or deposit, and you can put in money, and this works just like putting money into a town. Every time you claim land in factions, it would deduct money from that central faction account. Anybody in your faction can add money. So with money deposited, and optionally with factions, we have this turned on, is that the larger group of land you have, every time you buy new land, the price will just be multiplied. So every time you buy land, the price of land goes up. So when somebody's on, I can say F invite, and then I can say their name, Bob. That'll show me, that'll allow them to join my faction. They can just type F join, and they'll be a part of this. Now if this area is the home of our faction, I can just say set home. Now what that's going to do is when people get lost or they're in the wrong place, they need to warp to it, they can just type F home. That is the equivalent of just typing town spawn for townie. So if I leave this area, I can just say fclaim, and I can't do that because I need more power. Now, power comes from the length of time that I've played, it comes from the number of people who are in my faction, etc. Every time you die, you lose a bit of power, but that slowly regenerates the longer that you play. Excuse me. So with factions here, as an admin, if I'm given admin, I can claim something as a safe zone. So I can say fclaim safe zone. And this will make this area, this chunk, clear of any PvP and mobs from spawning. So this is a great thing to use around your spawn. Make sure people just can't claim it. Make sure that they can't attack each other, whatnot. So the benefit of having protected land is that people who are not members of the faction cannot come grief your stuff. Now, in a PvP world, sometimes that's what you want. You want people to come grief it. But if you don't have any way to last long, if aside from building your house in some secret underground location, which can easily be discovered by somebody abusing X-ray, which we'd find and ban, but you still don't want that. If people try to attack you while you're inside of your faction area, you're actually not going to receive as much damage. Sorry. So with factions, it's a lot like Townie. You can create your land, just fcreate. You can invite people. You can actually kick people, do fkick, and kick them from your faction. And there's a lot more to it. You can actually toggle certain permissions. You can unclaim land. If you have another town, a plot, sorry, and you want to give somebody specific ownership, you can type fowner and their username, and that will set them as the owner of that land. So that's pretty much it. There's a lot more commands. Sorry, I was recently getting over a cold. But you can actually claim things. You can set it to auto-claim land just like Townie. You can actually become allies with another faction. That means that you can't really attack each other. You're actually joined. But you need both factions to approve that before you become an ally. So that's it. That's the essentials of factions. Thanks for watching.